Boy, does Big Ten hater and hypocrite Paul Finebaum have it in for James Franklin and Penn State. He called him a disgrace. We're going to throw it back at Finey and see what's going on between these two. Locked On Big Ten starts right now.
You are Locked On Big Ten, your daily podcast on the Big Ten Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Big Ten. I'm Craig Sheeman. 40 years as a sports talk show host and play-by-play announcer, and I want to thank you for making us your first listen each and every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Hit that free subscribe button. Oh, we are getting close to 20,000 subscribers before football season. That's our goal. That way you'll never miss a single episode. We also ask you to share, like, and follow again so you don't miss us at all. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. So Finey just won't give up pounding James Franklin and Penn State. Later on, we'll get into some recruiting. And by the way, is USC broke like as a university? Got some stats and information for you there. Plus, we'll have our Big Ten Classics going into the weekend. But let's be real for a moment. Penn State's James Franklin, his reputation, he's an outstanding coach, but he can't win the big one, right? I think that's fair. I think even Penn State fans would agree with me on this one. And we also have to admit, though, that if James Franklin was ever fired or they asked him to leave, about 50 other schools would be calling him in about 2 minutes to try and get him to be their next head coach. The guy wins a lot of games every year, and he runs a pretty good program, and he has a pretty good roster every single year. So ESPN talking head Paul Finebaum, who we love to needle because he hates the Big Ten, hates him so much. And he just thinks that the SEC is the cat's meow. Just loves the SEC. They're beyond approach in their greatness. Even though I will remind him that, the Big Ten is going after its third straight national championship. And it might even be James Franklin at Penn State who gets that championship this year out of the Big Ten. But Finebaum, who in one breath will say that Penn State is favored to win the Big Ten, he'll admit that, and then he'll talk about how Franklin is under more pressure than anybody else in the country right now because he basically has to win it all in order to get rid of this reputation about big games. And it's true, though, that Finebaum is just always going in on this guy. He's got two whipping boys in the Big Ten, James Franklin and Lincoln Riley at USC, all the time. It's all he can do is criticize these guys. But now he's ripping Franklin and Penn State's schedule this year, while also, so he says he's got a weak schedule and he plays weak teams, but yet then criticizes them they can't win the big game, combining all this together. But he went so far as to call Penn State a disgrace because they play 3 cupcakes to start the season. All right. He wants every game to be Texas and Ohio State, LSU, Clemson, Miami, Notre Dame. That's what look, we can't have that be every game. We can't. And yes, the non-conference schedule for Penn State is a little lightish this year. Nevada, FIU, Villanova, but they also have 3 of the 12 playoff teams on their schedule in Indiana, Ohio State, and Oregon. It's not that bad of a schedule. And by the way, let's tap the brakes, Finebaum, on talking about cupcakes on non-conference games. Let's look at your beloved SEC. It's embarrassing, and they're afraid to pick up a 9th game in their own conference. But Georgia, they got Austin Peay and Charlotte. Really? Is that a disgrace? Alabama has Louisiana Monroe and Eastern Illinois. I don't even know where Eastern Illinois is. Is that a disgrace? I'm assuming it's in the eastern half of Illinois. Tennessee has East Tennessee State and UAB. Is that a disgrace? Ole Miss is playing Georgia State and the Citadel. Disgrace or just college football? Somebody needs to tell Finey to get off his high horse on this topic of scheduling non-conference games. He's going to lose that argument. I only mentioned 4 SEC teams right there. I can go down the list. This is what they do. They complain about how tough their 8 games are, won't go to 9, and then they schedule these other cupcakes for the most part. Not everybody, not every game. But don't be throwing rocks at glass houses on this deal. I think that's the same. So, and again, with the way they handle, they got 4 non-conference games because they only play 8 conference games. They pretend their schedule's too tough. Come on, let's get real. And Finey wants Penn State to play more big games. And then he goes and rails on by saying that he just doesn't trust James Franklin to win big games. Had he scheduled the big games in the first place, or whatever big games they do have, or if they get into the playoffs or the Big Ten championship, don't trust him. Think he's going to lose it. Now, there's some there because he has lost a lot of these big games. But, there was a bit of a backhanded compliment there. He still thinks that Penn State is the best team in the Big Ten. A lot of people do. But then he said, quote, James Franklin is still coaching. The last time I saw him at a big game, he choked. And I fully expect somewhere late in the season when the Big Ten and the SEC meet again, he'll choke again, quote unquote. Stop right there. Do we all need to remind Finebaum that when the SEC plays the Big Ten, the SEC loses time and time again? Your record in head-to-head play isn't very good. Ohio State in the playoffs last year destroyed Tennessee. Ohio State on its way to a championship beat Texas. Michigan beat Alabama twice. Illinois beat South Carolina. A mediocre USC team beat Texas A&M. USC beat LSU in the beginning of the season. Do I need to go on? Tap the brakes, Finebaum. Tap the brakes. So when he loses that argument, then he just decides to put that off the side and go into just ripping James Franklin mode. That's what he likes to do. But Finebaum dug down a little deeper, and he mentioned how Franklin blew a 10-point lead to Ohio State, which he did, and a 10-point lead versus Notre Dame in the Orange Bowl, which he did. Both are true. And we freely talk about that. I mean, I'm not totally defending Franklin, but I mean, he's off on him a little bit, for crying out loud. Yeah, he's lost some big games in the past. But Finey likes to beat a dead horse on this stuff. This is James Franklin's best team and the best chance and the best schedule to win it all that he's ever had. So I'll agree with you. There's pressure on him to get to the next level. Otherwise, he'll have this reputation that will hang around his neck for a long time. But let's let it play out, all right? Let's not bury the man now. Let's not bury Penn State now. We got a season right at our doorstep. Let's let it play out. And then we'll reassess after each of those big games right here on Locked On Big Ten, because that's what we do. But yeah, finally, his favorite offseason thing is to rip on James Franklin. And then when he's not ripping James Franklin at Penn State, he's ripping Lincoln Riley and USC. He hates them both. He hates them both. Look, we think we call things fairly here. We've been very critical of Penn State and USC when things don't go as well as they should. But man, the beat of the drum is nonstop out of Finebaum. Sometimes we feel like we got to jump in and defend the honor of our Big Ten team. So that's what we're doing here. Comments, would love to hear from you. Hit me up on the comment section here on YouTube, and you can defend James Franklin, or you can rip on Paul Finebaum, or whatever you want to do. I want to hear from you in the comment section. In the meantime, be sure to hit that free subscribe button down below. That way you'll never miss a single episode, and push us to 20,000. I think we're at 19,600, 700, something like that. Share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten as well. That helps us out if you don't mind. And we also have our own website, talkbig10.com with the number 10. All of our podcasts go there. Plus, there are links to buy merchandise from your favorite Big Ten schools at Talk Big Ten. You can check that out. We'd always appreciate that. And tell your friends about it. So share us that we're out there each and every day talking Big Ten. All right, coming up, is USC broke as a private university? Are they out of money? And how does that affect their athletic department? Plus some recruiting wins. We'll talk about that. And our Big Ten Classics are coming up. Tell you what to watch coming up over the weekend right here on Locked On Big Ten. Summer sports in full swing, and whether you're about baseball, under the lights. Hey, that was a great all-star game this week, by the way. Maybe you're into golf, got the Open going on as we speak, across the pond. Maybe you're a soccer person. FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. And we watch them because they're exciting on their own. But if you're part of the action, it's even more exciting with FanDuel. So you get in on the game while your friends are doing their thing. You can probably making some money. You know sports. Let's get in on it. FanDuel. Got an easy app, quick payments afterward, and it's just a fun way to bet. So check that out. And you can bet in-game, too. You got a feeling for how that thing's going to go? Live betting in-game action. It's all right there. If you're new to FanDuel, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. Thanks for checking us out here at Locked On Big Ten and making us your first listen each and every day. We're free and available wherever you get your podcast. Meanwhile, hit that subscribe button. It's free. Share, follow, and like Locked On Big Ten. And don't forget our website, talkbig10.com. So, is USC going broke? USC's interim president says the university has a deficit that is unsustainable. It cannot continue. Bong-Soo Kim said that the university will have to make some painful cuts. This is for fiscal year 2025. Right now, it just started. The reported deficit is north of $200 million right now. That's a lot. Last year was $158 million, so it's not trending in the right direction. Our question, naturally, is how is this going to affect the athletic department? Obviously, Lincoln Riley makes a lot of money. He's got a $110 million contract to coach football. Plus, the department has to carve out an additional $20.5 million as we speak this year for revenue sharing on the heels of the House settlement. So, who knows what they spent on this recruiting class of the class of 2026 is the number one class in the country. There was money promised there, more money, right? You're allowed to do that now. Might be the best class money could buy. So I'm curious, and this won't just affect football. I mean, you can go down to like USC women's basketball with Juju Smith. They're going to see cuts. So we'll keep an eye on that situation. We talk about athletic department financial deficits all the time. In fact, we did a podcast a few months ago about how Ohio State ran a deficit just in their athletic department of $38 million last year. And that was on their way to winning a national championship. So, in fairness, by the way, the $200 million for USC, that's the entire school. It's not the athletic department. So, when we're talking about Ohio State, we were just talking about their athletic department. But yeah, USC, the whole school, on the hook for $200 million this year. Cuts are happening, and we're quickly going to see what USC's priorities are here. All right, let's talk some recruiting. Why not? Let's talk about USC. Their commit, their edge rusher, Luke Waffle. He's out of New Jersey. He was a 4-star. We've been talking this week how a lot of rankings have been adjusted as we go through the summer and get ready to play high school football this year. Luke Waffle has been upgraded to a 5-star. So that makes him now the 4th USC recruit to earn a 5-star rating. You got the tight end, the Bowman kid that they got, the offensive tackle, Pepe, Albert Hill, the corner. So a lot of great players, a lot of 5-stars with the USC Trojans, part of that number 1 rated class of 2026. Hey, I came across a Sharon Moore interview recently from Michigan. He was asked the number 1 thing that he learned from coaching under Jim Harbaugh. He said he learned a lot. Well, I said what he mainly learned is just because you've always done something a certain way doesn't mean that you always have to do it that way. He says, don't be afraid to be different. That's what he learned from Jim Harbaugh. Don't be afraid to go outside the box a little bit. Don't be afraid to do things outside of your comfort zone. He said Jim Harbaugh was not afraid to be uncomfortable. He said growth and comfort don't coexist. You've got to be uncomfortable in order to grow. That was this philosophy that he took from Jim Harbaugh. And Moore's getting ready for his 2nd season at the helm of Michigan football. And this is definitely his program now with his stamp on it. The majority of the players and the assistants that were there in the Harbaugh days are long gone. This is Sharon Moore's team. So we'll see. Regarding this season coming up in Michigan, Moore says he's very excited about his freshman quarterback, Bryce Underwood. Says his great work ethic. He says he's great at processing information. This is all good. Underwood said he put on about 15 pounds of muscle. I think he went from 215 to 230 and all muscle, ready to go for this season. So we'll see how he does. We're getting close, aren't we? Getting close. Let's talk about the Buckeyes. Since we talk about Michigan, let's talk about the Buckeyes. They are clearly known as wide receiver U. They always get the best wide receivers in college football, and most of them go on to make a very nice living in the NFL. There is a long list of Ohio State alum who played wide receiver in the NFL. And Jeremiah Smith's going to be the next man up. By the way, I saw Marvin Harrison Jr. out of Arizona. He bulked up. Talking about Bryce Underwood anyway. I think Marvin Harrison's been hitting the weights. Much different look to him than he had at Ohio State. But speaking of wide receiver U and taking a peek to 2027, Ohio State, they already have a 5-star wide receiver and Jameer Brown coming. Now they're going after another 5-star in Brentwood, Tennessee wide receiver Keyshawn Bowman. Can you imagine 2 5-star wide receivers lined up on each side, ready to go for a couple of years together? Bowman's going to be on campus during the Buckeyes season opener against Texas. So he's going to be all part of the excitement of week 1 and all that's going on. But yeah, get ready, Buckeyes fans. If you land him, got a couple of 5 stars on each side. It's going to be fantastic. And some other recruiting news. So you missed a 5-star linebacker recruit Tyler Atkinson, of course, committing to Texas this week. He was considering Oregon. Oregon did not get him. He's considering Georgia as well. And Tyler Atkinson is going to go to the Texas Longhorns. All right. Now, if you are new to our podcast, a couple of things here I want to tell you about. First of all, we always close out with some pretty cool features at the end of our podcast. On Mondays, we do our top 10 observations from the weekend, top 10 Big Ten observations. Tuesdays, we like to do Tuesday tweets. Follow us on Twitter or X at Talk Big Ten, and you put something out there that's good, we'll put it here on the Tuesday podcast. Wednesdays, we like to power rank stuff. Yesterday, if you want to go back and check it out, we, for a second, listen after this, we ranked mascots because Indiana's getting one. They're getting a bison. I don't know if a bison and a Hoosier are the same thing. That now leaves Michigan as the only team without a sideline mascot. So we ranked them 1 through 18, 1 through 17, actually. Thursdays, we like to do Big Ten Classics. We look at the Big Ten Network. We're not affiliated with the Big Ten Network, but we have a lot of the same interests. So we're going to take a look at their schedule this week. It's hot outside. Get inside in the AC, watch a little TV, watch some classics. We're going to highlight a few that you might be interested in. That's coming up next. And don't forget, on Fridays, we make picks, look at odds, and during the season, pigskin picks, all that fun that we have. All right, so Big Ten Classics coming up in just 1 minute right here on Locked On Big Ten. All right, it's time for our Big Ten Classics. Let's take a look at the Big Ten Network schedule. I've highlighted a few things that you will be interested in, I think. Let's put it on the screen. If you're audio only, no problem. If you're listening on Apple, wherever you get your podcasts, Spotify, I'll describe the list. It's just a grid, times, date, and the events, full screen. Let's take a look at them, see what we got here on our Big Ten Classics. We'll pick it up Friday, July 18th. These are all Eastern times. We'll start this one off at noon Eastern. Big day. I know many of you may be at work, but we got a UCLA basketball classic. This is from their days when they were in the Pac-12 and they took on Purdue. UCLA at Purdue. This is from December of 2000. Dan Gadzuric had 18 points and 10 rebounds, and Jason Kapono scored 22 points to help the Bruins beat the Boilermakers 87-82. So they're going to play that at noon Eastern on Friday on the Big Ten Network. After that, it looks like a lot of UCLA is scheduled for Friday. And all of it is going to be back from their Pac-12 days, but we get to use those now because they're in the Big Ten. I love it. You know, I love doing that sometimes when they throw some of those old classic Nebraska games on from the yesteryear before they're in the Big Ten. But it counts now. They're Big Ten teams. But we got a UCLA basketball classic, 7 p.m. Eastern. Going to show Villanova at UCLA. That is from 2021. Johnny Juzang scoring 25 points, and Jamie Jacquez Jr. double-double with 21 points and 13 rebounds to lead the second-ranked Bruins to an 86-77 victory over fourth-ranked Villanova. So that's from 2021. Villanova was pretty good back then. 8:30, I believe 9:30. I think it's 8:30, actually. It might be a typo. 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We got another UCLA basketball classic. They're the 2021 Elite Eight at UCLA playing Big Ten team Michigan. This is from late March 2021. Again, Johnny Juzang with 28 points, leading the 11th seeded Bruins to a 51-49 victory over top-seeded Wolverines in the Elite Eight. Wow, what a defensive. I'm trying to see. I don't know if I remember this game. 51-49. What a defensive battle that was back in the day. Then we'll fast forward to 10:30 Eastern. Again, if you're out at West UCLA, you can check this out at 7:30 Pacific. UCLA, a UCLA football classic. Texas A&M at UCLA. This is 2017. And you UCLA fans, if you either watch this live or tape it, record it. UCLA had the largest comeback in program history with the help of Josh Rosen. Had 4 touchdowns, including a game-winning touchdown pass to Jordan Lastly with less than a minute remaining in the Bruins' 45-44 victory over the Aggies. Wow. Josh Rosen, all those quarterbacks that went in the first round with him in the NFL, and Josh is the only one not in the league anymore. Did not work out, did it? Had some good moments, though, at UCLA, including that one, which you could catch on Friday night as well. All right, let's see here. Let's move ahead from Friday to Saturday. And on the Big Ten Network, Big Ten Classics, we'll pick it up at noon Eastern. USC Basketball Classic, women's basketball, USC at Stanford. This is from 2024 with Juju Watkins scoring a record-breaking 51 points. The Trojans were ranked 15th in the country at the time, 67-58 win over the fourth-ranked Cardinal of Stanford. Then at 6 o'clock Eastern, we'll fast forward later on in the day. This is 3 o'clock Pacific on the West Coast. A USC football classic. The January 2017 Rose Bowl. USC and Penn State. Yeah. Matt Bormeister kicking the game-winning field goal as time expired to lift the 9th-ranked Trojans to a 52-49 victory over the 5th-ranked Nittany Lions. No defense. Scored over 100 points in this game back from January of 2017. We'll fast forward to 7 o'clock. We got another USC football classic, this time Ohio State at USC from 2008. Remember Mark Sanchez? Yeah. He threw 4 touchdowns in this game to lead the top-ranked Trojans to victory over the 5th-ranked Buckeyes in that game. And then at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, another USC football classic, Notre Dame at USC. This is from 2006. You can check that out. Remember John David Booty passing for 265 yards and 3 touchdowns to Dwayne Jarrett. And the 3rd-ranked Trojans won 42-24 over the 6th-ranked Fighting Irish. What a classic. And part of that rivalry. Hopefully that rivalry is not going away, but all signs point to that shutting down after 2 more meetings. They don't have anything beyond this year or next year. And obviously we hope that continues. Meanwhile, and if it goes away, we'll have the classics to watch. Let's fast forward now to Sunday on the Big Ten Network. We got a loaded schedule, a lot of football and basketball. We'll start off at 2:30. We've highlighted 2:30 Eastern, an Illinois basketball classic with Michigan and Illinois from 1989. Remember Kendall Gill? That's what I love about these names, these players, these kids you haven't thought about in forever. Kendall Gill scoring 26 points for the Fighting Illini that defeated the 6th-ranked Wolverines to remain undefeated on the season. And then we'll jump ahead to Sunday night, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. It's an Illinois football classic. Illinois versus Colorado, September of 1990. Howard Griffith scoring the game-winning touchdown late in the 4th quarter to lift the 21st-ranked Illinois Fighting Illini to a 23-22 win over 11th-ranked Colorado. How about that? At 10:30, another Illinois football classic. A lot of Illinois on Sunday. Illinois at Michigan from October of 1999. Remember Kurt Kittner threw for 280 yards and 4 touchdowns in the Fighting Illini's 35-29 upset win over Tom Brady and the 9th-ranked Wolverines. That's right, Illinois. You beat Tom Brady once upon a time in 1999. And then late on Sunday, 11:30 Eastern, another Illinois football classic. The Big Ten Network will be airing Penn State at Illinois. This is from November of 2014. David Reisner kicking a game-winning 36-yard field goal with 8 seconds to go to give Illinois a 16-14 victory over Penn State. These are some good games, good classics, nice mix of football and basketball over the weekend. You can check it out on the Big Ten Network, Big Ten Classics that we like to highlight here. They have some great games going on as the summer continues. And then before you know it, they start mixing in these classic games with actual live action once we get to September and the Big Ten Network. And we love pointing those out as well. That's a lot of fun. A lot of big action coming up here in the Big Ten. So next week, the Big Ten Media Days take place where everybody has their press conferences, kind of kicking off the season on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th from Las Vegas. Then they come back, practice starts, and the season's here. It's practically here right now, so you can check it out. Oh, there's always some great storylines that come from Big Ten Media Days. Tony Petitti will give the State of the Union, the state of the Big Ten. Lots of questions about the playoff format right now. The Big Ten wants 4 automatic qualifiers into the playoffs. All the other conferences don't want to do that, although I think Greg Sankey of the SEC wants to, but his coaches don't want to. So they're looking at that 5+1, 5+11 format. These are the kind of things we're arguing about right now, and he'll answer some questions on that at Big Ten Media Day. We'll be looking forward to all of that, plus all the coaches. Great storylines always come out of that, and they bring players with them too. So we always look forward to that as an unofficial kickoff to the start of the season. In the meantime, there are many ways for you to interact with this podcast. There's Twitter or X at Talk Big Ten. There's our website, talkbig10.com. I encourage you to go to our website, talkbig10.com. That's the number 10. See the crawl on the bottom if you're on video. All of our podcasts, including this one, go there. Plus links to buy merchandise from your favorite Big Ten schools. Get some new shirts, hats, and T-shirts for the 2025 season right there. But no matter what you do, before you go, hit that subscribe button and help us push to 20,000 subscribers here on this Locked On Big Ten channel before the start of the college football season. And that way, plus, you'll never miss a single episode of Locked On Big Ten. Tell your friends about us, because I know if you're a Big Ten fan, you know other Big Ten fans. Let them know we're out here every day, talking every day, all 18 teams with news, analysis, and opinion, video and audio. We're the most unique Big Ten podcast out there in the world. So thanks for checking us out. Go back and check out a second listen, or check out a second listen from Brian Smith and the Locked On Portal Show, wherever you get your podcasts. It's new, and it's doing quite well. That'll do it. Thanks for checking us out. As always, can't wait till we talk again tomorrow. For Locked On Big Ten, I'm Craig Sheeman.